Welcome to Real English Voices.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our conversation.
I am so happy to be here with you today, Ria. Today, we're tackling a topic that I think every single person listening can relate to. In fact, I think every human being on Earth struggles with this at some point.
Oh, that sounds dramatic, Tom. What are we talking about? Is it about love? Or money?
No, nothing that romantic. We are talking about the art of doing nothing when you should be doing something. We're talking about delaying your work, or to use the fancy English word for it, procrastination.
Oh, wow. You hit a nerve there, Tom. Procrastination. That is a heavy word, and honestly, I feel a little bit guilty just hearing it.
Why do you feel guilty?
Well, because to be completely honest with you, Tom, and our listeners, I almost delayed recording this episode today. I woke up this morning, looked at my alarm clock, and thought, maybe I can just tell Tom I am sick. Maybe we can do it tomorrow.
Really? You are kidding me! You wanted to cancel on me.
Not because of you, Tom. I love talking to you. But I just had that heavy feeling. You know that feeling when you have a task to do and your brain just says, nope, not today. I just wanted to stay in bed and scroll through my phone.
I know that feeling exactly. It's like a physical weight on your shoulders. It's so interesting that you mention that because I think a lot of English learners feel that exact same way about studying. They wake up, they know they should practice their vocabulary or listen to a podcast, but they just push it away.
Exactly. They push it to later. The famous later. Later is such a dangerous word, isn't it? I will do it later. Later becomes tonight. Tonight becomes tomorrow morning, and tomorrow morning becomes next week.
It is a trap, a total trap. But Ria, I want to ask you something personal. When you delay your work, like you wanted to do this morning, what is the actual reason? Is it because you're lazy? Because I know you and you are definitely not a lazy person. You work harder than anyone I know.
That is such a sweet thing to say, thank you. And no, I don't think it is laziness. I think, honestly, I think it is fear.
Fear? Fear of what? Fear of talking to me?
No, not fear of you. I think it's the fear of it not being perfect, or the fear that the work will be difficult. When I look at a big project or even a recording session, my brain starts thinking about how much energy it will take. I start worrying that I might make a mistake or that I won't have the right words. So instead of facing that fear, I just want to avoid it. I want to run away.
That is profound. Seriously, that is really deep. I think you just described perfectionism. We often think perfectionism means doing things perfectly, but actually, perfectionism often looks like doing nothing because we're too scared to do a bad job.
Yes, that is it exactly. It's paralyzing. It stops you from moving. I remember when I was learning Spanish, I would delay speaking to people for days. I would tell myself, oh, I need to study grammar for 1 more hour before I speak. But really, I was just scared of looking stupid. I was delaying the work of speaking because I wanted to protect my ego.
I relate to that so much. It reminds me of when I have to write emails. Sometimes I have to send a difficult email for work, maybe giving someone bad news or explaining a mistake. I'll open my laptop, look at the screen, and then suddenly I decide I need to clean the kitchen.
Oh my gosh, the cleaning procrastination. I do that too.
Right? I'll scrub the floor, I'll organize my bookshelf, I'll water the plants. I will do anything except write that email. I convince myself that I'm being productive because I'm cleaning. But deep down, I know I'm just hiding. I'm delaying the real work.
It's funny how creative our brains get when we want to avoid something. We become masters of excuses. But Tom, how does that make you feel? After you clean the kitchen and you still haven't written the email, do you feel good?
No, absolutely not. That is the worst part. I feel terrible. I have this low-level anxiety running through my body all day. It's like a dark cloud hanging over my head. I can't even enjoy the clean kitchen because I know the email is still waiting for me.
That is the tragedy of procrastination. You think you're buying yourself freedom, but you're actually buying yourself stress. You're borrowing time from your future self, and you're charging yourself interest in the form of guilt.
Wow. You are borrowing time and charging interest. That is a brilliant way to put it. It is an emotional debt.
It really is. So let's bring this back to English learning, because I know our listeners are probably nodding their heads right now. I know many of you listening have a textbook sitting on your shelf that you haven't opened in weeks, or you have a list of vocabulary words you promised to review. Why do we do this to ourselves with language learning specifically?
I think language learning is unique because the reward is far away, but the effort is right now. If I study English today, I won't be fluent tomorrow. It takes months, even years. Our brains are wired for instant gratification. We want the reward now. We want the chocolate cake now, not the healthy salad. Delaying work is like eating the candy instead of the vegetables.
That makes so much sense. We are fighting against our own biology. We want the quick dopamine hit of checking social media or watching a funny video, rather than the slow, difficult work of conjugation or pronunciation practice.
Exactly. But surely there's a way out of this. We can't just accept that we're doomed to delay everything forever. You showed up today. You didn't cancel. How did you overcome that feeling this morning?
That is the million-dollar question. Well, this morning I used a little trick. I told myself, Ria, just put on your headphones. That is it. You don't have to record the whole episode. Just put on the headphones and open the microphone app.
Wait, so you tricked your brain?
Basically, yes. I made the task so small that it felt ridiculous to say no. If I tell myself I have to record a 30-minute brilliant conversation with Tom, that feels huge and scary. But if I tell myself I just have to put on headphones, that is easy. I can do that. And usually, once the headphones are on, the momentum kicks in.
I love that. Momentum is everything. It's Newton's law of physics, right? An object in motion stays in motion. The hardest part is just the start. The friction of starting is where 90% of the resistance lives.
100%. Once we start talking, I love it. I am having fun right now. The fear is gone. The dread is gone. I am in the flow. But getting to this chair was the battle.
So the advice for our listeners is to lower the bar. Don't say, I am going to study English for 2 hours today. That is too big. You will delay that. Instead say, I'm going to listen to 1 minute of a podcast, or I'm going to read 1 paragraph.
Yes, make the goal so small you cannot fail. And there is another thing that helps me, Tom. It is forgiveness.
Forgiveness? That sounds spiritual. What do you mean?
Well, remember how we talked about guilt? When we delay work, we feel guilty. And then, because we feel guilty, we feel bad about ourselves. We think, oh, I'm so lazy. I am terrible at this. And that negative feeling actually makes us procrastinate more. Because who wants to work when they feel like a failure?
That is a vicious cycle. You feel bad, so you don't work, which makes you feel worse, so you work even less.
Exactly. So we have to break the cycle with forgiveness. If you delayed your work yesterday, it is okay. Forgive yourself. It happened. You're human. Today is a new day. Be kind to yourself. I think self-compassion is actually a productivity tool.
I have never thought about it that way, but you're right. If you beat yourself up, you drain your energy. You need that energy to actually do the work. I think this is so important for English learners. I hear so many students say, ugh, I'm so bad. I haven't studied in a week. I'm useless. And I just want to tell them, hey, stop it. It's okay. Just start again today.
Just start again. That is the mantra. You can always start again. You haven't failed until you quit completely. Taking a break or having a bad week where you delayed everything, that isn't failure. That's just life.
You know, Ria, there's another aspect of delaying work that we haven't touched on yet. Sometimes I think we delay work because we don't actually know what the next step is. We have a vague idea, like work on the project, but we haven't defined what that actually means.
Oh, clarity. Yes, that is huge. If my to-do list just says English, I will stare at it and do nothing. What does English mean? Do I read? Do I write? Do I speak? The lack of clarity creates confusion, and a confused mind does nothing.
Right. A confused mind says no. But if my list says, read page 5 of the story and write down 3 new words, that is specific. I can do that. There's no ambiguity.
So we need to be kind to our brains. We need to give them clear instructions. We are like the boss and the employee at the same time. The boss part of our brain needs to give clear orders to the employee part of our brain.
I like that analogy. Be a good boss to yourself. Don't be a vague boss. Don't just yell, work harder. Be specific.
Tom, I have a question for you. Do you think technology makes this worse? I mean, we have distractions in our pockets 24 hours a day.
Oh, without a doubt. The phone is the ultimate procrastination machine. It is designed to be addictive. It is designed to steal your attention. I actually have to put my phone in another room when I really need to focus. If it is on my desk, even if it is face down, I can feel it calling me.
It is calling you, Tom, come look at Instagram. Come check your email.
Yes, exactly. It whispers to me. It says, Tom, surely you need to check the weather. What if it rains? I don't need to check the weather. I am inside working. But my brain looks for any excuse to break the tension of work.
So, removing the temptation is key. Out of sight, out of mind. I actually use an app that blocks other apps. It locks me out of social media for an hour. It's like putting training wheels on my willpower.
I think that is smart. We shouldn't rely on willpower alone. Willpower is a limited resource. It runs out. If you are fighting the urge to check your phone every 30 seconds, you are going to be exhausted by noon. Just remove the option.
This brings me to a thought about environment. If you're trying to learn English or get any work done, where you do it matters. If you're sitting on the couch where you usually watch Netflix, your brain thinks, oh, it is relaxation time. It's hard to switch modes.
That is so true. Context is powerful. I have a specific chair in the corner of my room. When I sit in that chair, I work. I don't eat there. I don't play games there. I just write. So now, when I sit down, my brain automatically switches into work mode. It's a trigger.
That is a great tip for our listeners. Create a little English corner in your house. It doesn't have to be big, just a specific spot. When you're there, you are a student. When you leave, you can relax. It helps separate the guilt from the rest of your life.
Separating the guilt. That is important because if you procrastinate, you never truly relax. You are always half working and half relaxing, which means you are doing neither.
Yes, that is the worst state to be in. You're watching a movie, but you're thinking about the vocabulary list. So you don't enjoy the movie and you don't learn the vocabulary. You lose both ways.
So the goal is work when you work, play when you play. Don't mix them. If you're going to delay your work, if you're going to decide not to do it, then own that decision. Say, I am taking the night off, and really enjoy the night off.
That requires a lot of honesty with yourself, but it is so much healthier.
Tom, let's talk about the feeling of finishing. Because we talked about the dread of starting, but we need to remember the joy of finishing. How do you feel right now knowing we are halfway through this recording?
I feel lighter. Truly, the heavy weight is gone. I feel proud. I feel capable. It's such a rush of positive energy. It makes me wonder why I ever wanted to delay it in the first place.
That is the crazy thing. The anticipation of the task is almost always worse than the task itself. We build it up in our heads to be this monster, but once we start, it's just work. It's just typing or speaking or reading. It's rarely as painful as we imagine.
We are drama queens in our own minds. We make everything a tragedy. Oh, studying phrasal verbs is so hard, it will kill me. No, it won't. It's just words. You can handle it.
We need to remind ourselves of that feeling of accomplishment. When you finish a study session or you finish a task, pause for a second. Bottle that feeling. Remember it. So the next time you want to delay, you can tell yourself, hey, remember how good it feels to be done?
Visualizing the result. That is powerful. Visualize yourself closing the textbook, smiling, feeling smart. Focus on the end, not the beginning.
I want to share a story about a friend of mine. He wanted to write a book. For 5 years, he talked about writing this book. He would tell everyone at parties, I am going to write a novel. But he never wrote a single page. He was always researching or waiting for inspiration.
The classic waiting for inspiration excuse. Inspiration is a flaky friend. You cannot rely on her.
Exactly. Finally, he got sick of his own excuses. He made a rule. He said, I will write 200 words every day, no matter what. 200 words is nothing. It's like half a page. But he did it. Bad days, good days, sick days. And guess what?
He finished the book?
He finished the book in 8 months. After 5 years of delaying, he finished it in 8 months just by doing a tiny bit every day without delaying.
That is giving me goosebumps. It just shows that consistency beats intensity. You don't need to be a hero for one day. You just need to show up every day.
And that is the message for everyone learning English with us right now. You don't need to learn the whole language today. You can't. It is impossible. But can you listen to this podcast to the end? Yes. Can you look up one word you didn't understand? Yes.
And if you do that, you are winning. You are defeating procrastination. You are taking control of your life.
But, Ria, what about the people who say, I work better under pressure? You know those people who wait until the night before the deadline to start? They say the adrenaline helps them.
Oh, I used to be one of those people in university. I would write my essays at 3 in the morning the day they were due. And sure, I got it done. But looking back, the quality wasn't my best, and the stress, it took years off my life.
I agree. I think working better under pressure is a myth we tell ourselves to justify our bad habits. It's like saying, I drive better when I'm speeding. Maybe you get there faster, but it's dangerous and stressful.
And with language learning, there is usually no deadline. No teacher is going to yell at you if you don't speak fluent English by December. That is the problem. When there is no external pressure, you have to create your own internal pressure, or rather, your own internal motivation.
That is the hardest part of adult learning. You have to be the parent and the child. You have to nurture your own discipline.
Tom, I'm thinking about the phrase, eat the frog. Have you heard this?
I have. It sounds disgusting, but please explain it for our listeners.
It is a famous concept, I think from Mark Twain. He said that if your job is to eat a live frog, it is best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it is your job to eat 2 frogs, it is best to eat the biggest one first.
Which means do the hardest, most annoying task first thing in the morning?
Exactly. If you have to make a difficult phone call in English, do it at 9 a.m. Get it over with. If you wait until 5 p.m., you have spent 8 hours dreading it. You have ruined your whole day worrying about the frog.
That is such good advice. Swallow the frog. It tastes bad, but then it's done. And the rest of the day feels like a vacation because the hard part is behind you.
I have tried to apply this. When I wake up, I try to identify my frog. What is the one thing I am resisting? The one thing I am trying to delay? And I attack that first. It requires a burst of courage, but the payoff is huge.
Courage. That is a good word. Overcoming procrastination takes courage. It takes bravery to face the work, even if the work is just conjugating verbs.
It really does. You are facing your own limitations. You are facing the possibility of failure, but you're also facing the possibility of growth. And that is why we're here.
Ria, as we start to wrap up this conversation, I want to do a little check-in. How are you feeling about the rest of your day? Are you going to delay anything else?
You know what? I feel energized. Talking about this has made me realize how silly my fears are. I have a pile of laundry that I have been ignoring for 3 days. I am going to go home and fold it immediately.
Yes. Attack the laundry. Eat that frog.
What about you, Tom? What are you going to stop delaying?
I have that email I mentioned earlier, the difficult one. As soon as we stop recording, I am not going to check the weather. I am not going to get a coffee. I am going to open the laptop and write it, even if it is not perfect.
I believe in you, Tom. You can do it. Done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. That should be the motto of this episode.
And for our listeners, I want to challenge you. Right now, as you are listening to this, what is one thing you have been delaying? Just one small thing.
Maybe it's replying to a message. Maybe it's signing up for a class. Maybe it's just doing the dishes. Whatever it is, promise us that you will do it today, not tomorrow, today.
Use the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself you will just do it for 5 minutes and see what happens.
And remember, if you have been delaying your English practice, you are already breaking that streak right now by listening to us. You are doing the work. You are improving. So give yourself some credit.
Yes, celebrate this win. You are here, you are listening, you are learning. You are not procrastinating right now. You are active.
It has been such a pleasure talking to you, Ria. I am glad we didn't delay this. This was exactly the conversation I needed to have.
Me too, Tom. Thank you for pushing me to show up. It is always better when we do it together.
That is the truth. We are in this together. To all our listeners, keep going. Don't let the fear stop you. Take that small step.
We believe in you. Keep practicing, keep listening, and stop delaying your dreams.
See you in the next episode of Real English Voices.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.